Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be based on a bright blue look that's inspired by Autism Awareness Month. Autism Awareness Month resonates greatly with me because I've been diagnosed with this condition myself. This video is going to be somewhat sentimental because I'm going to be sharing with you my background. I'm also going to share with you my experience with being diagnosed with autism and what it was like for me as a child growing up. And also I'm going to be sharing with you how I manage it today. As usual, all of the products that I've used will be in the description area below. And I will also have some links down below where you can donate to the Autism Speaks Foundation. It is optional to donate, but I always like to let people know where they can educate themselves on autism, and also it helps with providing resources to those who have the condition. If you'd like to see how I achieve this look, then stay tuned. As usual, I'm going to be starting off with my eyebrows, and for the rest of the video, I'm going to share my experience on having autism and mental health issues. Well, I made my grand entrance to planet Earth on June 23rd, 1994 in Lancaster, South Carolina. I was raised in Lancaster, South Carolina for most of my childhood. My mom had me when she was 16 years old. 3 years later, in 1997, I was diagnosed with autism. I spent most of my childhood taking special ed classes, and as a child, I had to be evaluated and have speech therapy. My mom was a single mom because my biological dad was not in the picture. My grandmother stepped in to help raise me. I also remember being in daycare as a child as well. I also remember going to a Head Start school. I'll say my childhood has been pretty decent, but I had some challenges like delayed speech and learning how to communicate effectively with others. I had to have extra support with gaining a sense of direction in life. I thank Jesus that I had the support and I had people behind me that were willing to work with me and give me the resources to help me grow. Looking back at all of this helped me realize that I've had it made because I had all of the resources, I've had the support, and I also had the strength to overcome anything that comes my way today. I didn't have a lot growing up except for the basic necessities, and every once in a while I may get some toys like Barbies, which were my favorite. I wasn't treated any differently than any other kid. The only difference is that I had delayed speech, and it took me longer to learn how to communicate effectively with others. I believe I started talking when I was around 4 or 5 years old. I remember how tough it was for me to be able to say certain things without it sounding funny or off-putting. I remember how tough it was for me to make friends and fit in. I've always been reserved and somewhat shy, but when I take the time to get to know people, it makes it easier for me to open up to them. I've also faced bullying and isolation in school, and another challenge that I face with having autism is watching my mom be a single parent. You know how you get this feeling when you see someone struggle and you're in no position to help them. When I think about this, I realize all of the things that my mom faced when she was raising me was that sometimes it can be hard to find resources that support children who are like me. What's made it so challenging is that the extra cost it comes with raising a child with a disability. What's also made it challenging is due to the lack of support from my biological dad. Now I'm 29, and it's always been hard for me to imagine being a teen raising a child with a mental health condition. As a teen, I went through a mental health crisis where I ended up in therapy and ended up having to take medication for depression and anxiety. My biological father was killed in a house fire, and so I never really had that chance to have a relationship with him. And so that affected me so much till the point where I wanted to take my own life. As soon as he died, I began to question what my purpose on this earth was and why was I here if he didn't want me. Now, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do is thank God because I'm here today with a gift that I want to share with the world, and I want to let the world know that God has blessed me with it. Each day on this earth is a blessing because I have opportunities to grow myself and be able to grow my talents that I've been blessed with, as well as other opportunities to be able to share something that I love and what I've learned from. I'm so thankful to be able to turn all of my heartache and all of the struggles that I faced into art. Speaking of art, what has also helped me through all of the struggles that I've been facing is through music. Now, I've been playing and writing music since I was in diapers. Well, I've written a few pieces of music that I have posted here about 8 years ago. I've got something new in the works, so make sure you be on the lookout for that. Music has always been a godsend for me because it always helps me to be stress-free, and it also helps me get through with whatever I'm struggling with. I love the fact that music is considered art because you can make it the way that you want it. There's a lot of stories being told through music, and I would be grateful for the opportunity to share mine. What also helps me get through my mental health issues and living with autism is through prayer. I was raised as a Christian, so I believe that true healing comes from turning to God and Jesus Christ, who is the Lord of my life. I don't look like what I've been through, and no one knows my story better than God, me, and those who are around me. I realized that it was God who gave me the opportunity to use this platform to share my story to help not only myself, but those who need it the most. After everything that I've witnessed and everything that I've struggled with has made me into the strong black woman that I am. Each time I feel like giving up, I always remember why I started. Despite having autism, I'm glad to be able to set personal goals for myself, and I can always reach out for help when I need it. Most of all, my help comes from the Most High because He gives me the strength to do all things. I believe the purpose of the struggles that we face is for us to learn how to help others. I know that the things that are worth having do not come easily, but it doesn't happen overnight. When I set a personal goal, I always write it down and plan out how to achieve it. I try my best not to compare myself with others, but when it comes to achieving certain things, I want to be the best version of myself as I could possibly be. I don't want to have to go through life competing with somebody else in order to make it. Everyone has struggles, so I try my best to be good to others. I definitely have my fair share of mental health struggles, but I'm a work in progress. I have days when I don't feel like going on, but I try my best to keep pushing through every day. When I think about the things that bring me joy in life, like God, music, arts and crafts, makeup, and animals, it's nice to be able to share that with others around me. It would be nice to be able to make a living by putting out videos and sharing what I'm passionate about. I know this topic is somewhat dark and I never really get deep about my personal life, but I thought this would be something that could help someone else out along the way. I know that I don't speak about having autism and mental health issues very often because I don't want that to define me. I don't want autism and having mental health issues to define me because I can do anything in this world that I want. Not even the devil himself can stop me. None of the negative words that have been spoken against me has any value, and I decided not to entertain it any longer. Now that I've learned to communicate effectively more with others, then I could also help others to communicate better, kinder, and smarter. I would like to be that advocate and provide resources to those who don't have it and the voices for those who don't have one. For now, I'm just a woman with a dream who is making the effort to make it in this world. I want to show people that I can do amazing things despite having mental health challenges and to push for greater things in life. My advice for those who are struggling with mental and physical health issues is to reach out to someone who can help you. You should never feel like you are alone because you're not. My advice would also to be that you can find something that is positive that you can channel all of your negative feelings on. Like for example, if you're into music, you can channel all your pain and heartache into music like what I do as well. The ways that I would help soothe my anxiety and depression is through making music, art, and even talking about my feelings to someone that I trust. As a person who has a history of mental health issues, I'm proud to be a living example that you can overcome anything that comes your way. I feel like the world would be a better place if we all come together with love and understanding for one another. Now that technology has evolved, it's a lot easier now to find resources that'll help support different causes like with autism as well as people with mental health issues. I'm so glad that people are taking mental health into account because it makes a difference on how we see things, how we do things, and how we make decisions. Back when I was diagnosed, I can only imagine my mom felt that she was not prepared for what's about to happen and what sort of resources I would need to be well cared for and how to learn how to navigate in this world. I can imagine how hard it was for my mom to find the best programs that are well fitting for me. So back in the 90s, I could imagine it was a lot harder to get into programs than you would today, where you can just do a quick Google search and it's right there. Back in the 90s, we didn't have iPhones and touchscreen computers and things of that sort when I was in diapers. I can't thank God and Jesus enough for my mom being the best advocate for me from the time I was born till this day. I would love to give that same love, support, and grace to others. Once I started doing my own research on what autism entails, I realized how much work and sacrifice that my mom put in to ensure that I'm getting the best care and getting into the right programs that fit me. Well, as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm going to have a link to the Autism Speaks website where you can educate yourself on what autism is and the signs and the symptoms. It's rare that people in my family that have autism. I have a cousin who's 4 years old, and he was diagnosed with autism a couple of months ago. He has a similar background to mine where he was also raised by a single mom. The only difference is that between me and him, he's into sports and I'm into music. I've heard some common misconceptions about people with autism, like they have mental health disabilities, and autism is caused by vaccines, just to name a couple. Some people treat autism as if it's a disease that you can never get rid of. I don't consider myself as having a disability because I can make decisions, I can choose things that I like, just like everybody else. There may be different levels of autism, but not everyone with autism is the same. Not everyone with autism choose the same paths in life. At the end of the day, whether you have autism or not, we're still humans with thoughts, feelings, hopes, and dreams. When I look at stories of people who have autism, I get inspired by it and want to do more in life and work harder at the things that I want in life. It's very refreshing to me to hear people's stories about how they overcome disabilities and challenges in their lives. When I hear people's stories about overcoming disabilities and challenges, it always helps me have more hope and inspiration. So if you're a person who was diagnosed with autism, I'd like to hear about your story and read about it in the comments below. I enjoy reading other people's stories about their struggles with autism because it makes me feel like I'm not alone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the look is finally complete. So I sure hope you find this tutorial and story time inspiring and helpful. So feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, stay blessed, y'all.